Out of the huts of history's shame I rise. Up from a past rooted in pain I rise. I'm a black ocean leaping and wide, leaving behind nights of terror. Behind I rise. Into a daybreak that's wondrously clear I rise, I rise, I rise. Hey, howdy, hi viewers, welcome to Children and Teenagers World, and you might be wondering, what was that? Now, that was one of the favorite parts from a poem called Still I Rise by Maya Angelou. And I love this poem because it shows how us human beings are capable of facing every single challenge in our lives. But anyways, hope you're having a wonderful weekend. And by the way, happy World's Book Day. Though I know it has passed on last Thursday, but still, you know, it's an important day. Now, I think I've talked too much already, so let me introduce you to our guests today. I've got Samia and Sumaya with me today. And now, as usual, let's get to know them first before asking them any other question. Now, Samia, why don't you introduce yourself to our audience a bit?
So, my name is Samia Alam. I'm 12 years old and I go to London Enterprise Academy and I live in London.
And how about you, Sumaya?
My name is Sumaya Bouillon. I'm 13 years old. I'm in year 8 and I go to London Enterprise Academy.
You guys obviously know that World's Book Day was on last Thursday. What did you do on World's Book Day?
Well, in school, I'm a librarian, so
Okay.
I help the actual librarian to sell books and etc. And actually it was quite fun because we did little activities in the library at break time and lunchtime. Break time obviously was to borrow books, encouraging people to borrow books, and also we did assembly to show how important Books Day is and how important books are, and etc. And as I was saying, the little activities we did was like covering the book so people can't see what the book looks like or can't read what the book is about.
Okay.
Because you know sometimes people is like, oh, that's genre, so I don't like it, so I don't want to read it.
Okay,
So it's like it's just to give them something new to
judging
read.
the book by its cover.
Yeah, not to judge the book.
Who is your favorite author in terms of?
My favourite author is Roald Dahl.
Roald Dahl. Why do you like Roald Dahl a lot?
Because many of his books, they're very imaginative and they inspire me to write my own books.
Really? When did you start writing your own books?
When I first started secondary school, during school when I'm on my own, I just sometimes write down stories that I imagine.
Really? Tell us one of the stories.
So one of the stories was about a little girl. She's really talented, other than her rest of her family, and her whole family is filthy rich, and all they want to do is like spend their money on brand new things that they don't need. And then once, that little girl, she went to school, and then she became so clever that she moved to a new school that's for like higher children.
Okay.
Like in our school we have like some sets for like children who are low, in between and the highest set.
Yes.
And then sometimes they even have a group that's higher than the highest set in school. So like she went to those kind of schools, and then after, her family didn't realize that, and only her teacher realized. And then after, her family just got into some random business to like go to different countries or whatever, and that little girl didn't want to go, so then she planned to stay in London all by herself. So then they just let her because they didn't really care about her. All they cared about was her 2 brothers. And then her teacher felt sorry for her, so then she wanted to adopt her, and then they lived in a red brick house.
Wow, that's really nice story, and especially for your age. I can't write a story like that, but you know, you in such an early age writing a story. Are you aiming to be an author?
No, when I grow up I want to be an RE teacher.
RE teacher? What made you, what gave you this ambition?
When I first started school, when I found out that I wasn't an Islamic school,
Okay.
the first thing was my first lesson was RE.
Okay.
And then because my teacher inspired me a lot in RE, in school, in my free time, I studied RE, like all the religious faith and everything. And then I decided that I wanted to become an RE teacher.
Well, referring back to the World's Book Day, what would you rather do, read a book or watch a movie? Let's be honest about it.
I will be honest, I would actually read a book because,
Really?
you know, well, it actually depends about what you want to do. But if you would like to watch a movie, it's not that interesting, as like you might already know what's going to happen. But in books, it's like sometimes there are plot twists. There are lots of way writers, users, devices, and they literally change the story.
Yeah.
And stories, you know, books, they're always quite different from others, so it's like quite always nice to read books.
Yeah, in fact, I heard this quote or this saying from somebody, I can't actually remember from who, but it said that a man who reads a lot of books lives 1,000 lives before they die, compared to a man who doesn't read a book. I think that is kind of true, because when you're reading a book, especially when the book is in the first person, it's like you are the person in the protagonist in the story. So just it is kind of interesting, isn't it? But moving away from the book sections, let's talk about our parents a bit more. So on a scale of 10, how strict do you think your parents are?
I think there are 2, because, you know, obviously if I do something wrong, they're going to obviously mostly say, what did I do wrong, how to improve that, and not like exactly punish me straight away. And also my parents do support me a lot, so I'm so happy about that.
You are lucky. And how about you?
I'd say 3.
Okay, why do you think?
My reason is that when I have like exams or something important coming up in school, they support me in practicing lots and hard, so I like improve my grades. And also when something happens to me, like if I get bullied, they help me and they sort the problems out with me. But then if I do just a tiny mistake, they help me and they tell me what to do next time. But if I do it like a bit more than 2 times, then obviously I get punished a little bit.
Yeah, obviously. What was the worst punishment you got so far?
Being grounded.
Being grounded. Well, that's something that every child hates, isn't it? But I think what you said is really important, and this is a message to every single parent. It is important for parents to support their children, especially at this age, because at this age, it's very hard to decide what are we going to do in the future, or especially when we get bullied, because, you know, when we move from primary to high school, it is a very big step in our life, and often students of our age do face bullying, and I think parents do need to come into that and support their children, either talk to the teacher or advise their children on how to, you know, how to deal with the bullying or how to respond to it, because if they don't pay attention to these things, it can lead to psychological distress in the future, which is very, you know, very harmful for the mental health of the child. Apart from that, let's talk about, you know, the 21st of February, which has passed a few days ago. Now, what did you do? It was International Mother Language Day, by the way, guys. What did you do on that day?
Well, I didn't do a lot on that day, but I know that Year 7s, they did a lot of things. And I participated when we went from our school to see the Shohid Minar. It's like a model in a park.
Yeah.
So it's like, yeah, so we went there, and I think it was just a treat for me and other few people who were from Year 8 and Year 9. But the whole thing was for Year 7s. And they did a lot of things like preparing, about researching about that day. And yeah, they did a lot of things like that. And it was quite enjoyable.
So I went on that trip, and what we did was Mr. Ali, he gave a few words about that day.
Okay.
And this boy from Year 7, he read out a long poem he wrote by himself. And then after, some students from Year 7, we skipped a few lessons to make some flowers, like paper flowers to make it, and then we went to the park, and then the head boy and head girl of the student councils, they put the flower down with Mr. Ali.
All right. Guys, do you guys go to the same school?
Yes.
Oh my gosh, I just worked that out now. So how's your relationship at school? Are you guys friends in the same year?
Well,
We're
we're
both
obviously
school
not.
councils.
You guys are both school councils. I mean, you guys seem to, you know, get involved in a lot of, you know, activities at school. What was your best accomplishment so far?
Well, if you think, obviously this year has started like midway,
Yeah.
but last year I've got like this golden plate for merits achievement,
Oh.
highest
wow.
merits achievement, and I think I got lots of awards that I actually didn't expect to get, and it's actually really nice to, you know, it was quite a different experience. Yeah.
In fact, congrats for that. Anyways, viewers, so far talking to them was so much fun, wasn't it? But anyways, we're gonna come back after a very short break, so don't go anywhere. Stay in tune, and yeah, we are coming back in a very short while.